Let's talk health today. It's getting pretty outside. We need to get back into shape.
Building spirituality, family, health, and business. This is the Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.
Welcome, Giant Builders. Today's guest is Michele Riechman, and she is an online personal trainer and health coach. So this will be very interesting for all of us because we all need to be more healthy. So, hi, Michele. How are you?
Good. Thanks so much for having me here.
Well, thank you for being here. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Yeah, so I have my doctorate in physical therapy and I do online personal training health coaching, mostly with women who have put themselves on the back burner, but they're ready to take their health, get back in shape because I'm also a mom of four. So I get what it's like to be busy and to not take time for yourself. So I have been there before. I remember after my third child going up a flight of stairs and being out of breath and like knowing something needed to change. And it needed to be simple and quick. So just starting with quick workouts, just fixing my nutrition a little bit, I was able to get back to a better spot and feeling better about myself and taking care of myself, but keeping it really simple. So I love helping other women do the same thing, especially for those women who don't take care of themselves and put everybody else ahead of themselves.
I would say that that's probably about 100% women. So you, you have a big audience.
Yes. Yeah. I think as women, I mean, especially once you start having family and work and you have all these other things going on, everything else seems so important. And our health, if we don't take care of it at first, we usually don't notice those negative effects. They usually build up over time and then we start really feeling it. So it gets easy to put ourselves on the back burner.
Definitely. Well, what would a first meeting look like with you?
Yeah, so a first meeting with me, I usually just give a free call and we just go through what people's goals or struggles are and just sort of see what they need and see if we can start coming up with one or two habits that they can do. Because I like my clients to feel 90% confident that whatever we decide they're going to work on, that they're going to do. Because a lot of times people shoot so high, or we think we have to follow this strict diet or we have to exercise a lot and we can't sustain it. So then we sort of feel like we're a failure. We don't know what's wrong. We can't do this. We just give up. So I like to just come up with one or two habits that they feel 90% confident they're going to do. And we might need to talk through it a little bit, like what those struggles or little things are going to be that are going to be hard and see if we can work those out. But just finding some place to start that they can feel good about and that they can start pointing their health in the right direction.
Are there a couple of common concerns that women come up with?
Yeah, so a lot is diet and nutrition. And usually, if we're honest with ourselves, as I talk to people, most people know some things that they can change. So most people know maybe they're eating too much sugar or they're stress eating or they're eating a lot of processed foods. And it's really having that accountability and support and figuring out ways to change these habits that are ingrained because it's so easy just to grab processed food or grab these easy foods. But it's also not that much harder to grab some healthier foods. It's not that hard to grab an apple and have some peanut butter with it, but it's hard making that when we're so used to doing what we're doing. So nutrition is a big piece, and then also exercise. So with my background in physical therapy, I love working with women who are postpartum or people who have like an old knee injury or old knee pain or back pain, and they just don't know how to get started correctly. And you just get stalled when you don't know how to start. And you want to make sure that you're exercising properly so you don't injure your body. And so with people like that, we just start small. We might start with 5 or 10 minutes of exercise and build up. That way they can start feeling better and moving better.
So are there certain body aches that you run into more often?
Yeah, I would say knee pain is pretty common. So a lot of people I work with are definitely 30 and up, but even that 40 and up. So people having knee pain that they've had for a long time. Obviously, if it's something they need to go to a doctor for, they go for a doctor. But a lot of time when we start to strengthen correctly, know how to do exercises correctly, and we're consistent with that, building that strength and flexibility around joints will help to improve it. Just like people going in for a total knee replacement, a lot of them are told to go to physical therapy before because they need to build that strength. So I think just strength training and doing a little bit of flexibility is totally underrated. But it can really help to make a difference, especially also in the back. So learning how to engage your core and work your abdominal muscles and your back muscles all together as a whole can really be helpful for improving any like back pains or aches there too.
So I find that there's a lot of, okay, confession. So I actually just started a new, and I don't call it a diet because I don't really see it as a diet, but a new meal plan 3 days ago. And it does take a bit of mindset to, I mean, I'm eating a lot of spinach. I tell you. How do we work with that mindset to be more conscientious of our health?
Yeah. I mean, starting anything new is hard because we have these pathways in our brain of what we're used to. So we're used to brushing our teeth. We're used to grabbing whatever that is for breakfast. So doing something new takes a lot more brain power. So you really have to develop that habit and be consistent. So one way, if doing a whole meal plan, changing all those meal plans is too much, start with just the breakfast. Get comfortable, add in the lunch, dinner. So you could do it more as a progressive way to change. But also, I think affirming in yourself why you want to do this and why that's important to you and who you want to be. So maybe your affirmation could be something like, I am someone who takes care of my body. I want to go play with my grandkids or run around, whatever that is, affirming that and keeping that really big end goal in mind, why you're doing that can be helpful because it gets so easy in the moment to let something go. So before you even start making sure this is something you really want to do and something you can sustain, working out any of those struggles in between and just deciding who you want to be, how you want to live can make a difference.
Oh, that was very good. I love that tip. All right, help me work out the process of getting my movement, my exercise in my day.
Yeah. So first I'll break down movement and exercise because they're two different things. So movement is just moving around. So that could be cleaning, grocery shopping, going for more of a gentle walk. So that would be, as a lot of people say, 10,000 steps. And you don't need to start at 10,000 steps if you're at 1,000. Work your way up. But so we have this bucket of movement where we just need to move more because we all have pretty sedentary lives. Even me, as I work a lot online, I am sitting a lot. So I make an effort to out for a walk every day, and it doesn't have to be a fast walk. So making that effort to just get up and move our bodies more, because when we're not, our muscles get tight, our joints get achy, and our bodies just don't feel great. So in the second bucket is actual exercise. So this is where your heart rate is getting up, where your muscles are burning. So I just want you, as you think about it, to keep those two things separate. And with the exercise bucket, and really same thing with the movement, start small. So when I am starting with a client who hasn't been exercising at all, we usually start with 5 or 10 minutes of strength training. And I say, we're going to do this for a week or two because I don't want them to get sore that in 2 days they can't do another workout or that they hate this. Because really, if you start with 5 or 10 minutes, within a couple months, you'll be able to build up pretty quickly and you're going to feel a lot better instead of overdoing it at the beginning. So really learning how to strength train correctly is helpful. So I also am a yoga teacher. So yoga can also be great for strength training if you're doing a yoga that is meant for strength training. And especially as women age, our muscle mass can go down. And this goes back to we move less, we exercise less, and our bodies are aging. So strength training becomes really important to build that muscle up in your body, to build your bones and keep your bones strong as you age. And that can also help your metabolism because the more muscle we have, the more calories we're going to burn. So 1 pound of muscle burns more calories than a pound of fat. So not only are we going to feel stronger, and muscle is also smaller than fat, so we're going to be a little slimmer, we're going to have that bigger calorie burn that can help our metabolism as we age too.
And this can be something that actually can reflect on the whole family. I mean, if the mom makes these adjustments, then it's going to be seen by the family and can be encouraged to the family and the children.
Yeah, I am a huge proponent of that because as we're seeing, there is a big childhood obesity epidemic. And I think it really starts with the parents and how you're leading your family because these kids are developing habits. So just as we talked about habits in ourselves, our kids are developing these habits too. So if we can make an effort to have more whole foods in our house, to just move together, go for a walk as a family. And I also think if moms eat in a way that their kids can eat, that is helpful. So there are some times where doing a keto diet or other things help certain medical conditions. But if you're just looking for weight, looking to lose weight, I really want people just to eat healthier, eat more whole foods, not follow a diet, because that's what we want our kids to do. So really being that example for them.
Oh, I love that point. I love not encouraging the kids that diet's the way of life, that just eating
Yes.
healthy makes a difference. So in my mind, this all boils down to eating healthy, exercise, movement, all that gives you more energy and more life so that you can enjoy your family and your life more. So it's really working on that mindset that you're changing your world with this process.
Yeah. And I mean, I think especially when I talk to clients and we dig a little deeper to that why, it is so like maybe I'm an older mom and I want to be able to run around with my kids as I get older. Or maybe I'm going to be 60 when my child is going into college and I don't want to have these chronic health conditions. So, really being able to live a fuller life. And I think another piece that's also important is making time for self care and sort of recharging yourself. Because if your battery is drained, you're not going to be able to make these changes in your nutrition and exercise and movement. So really also figuring out what refuels you. So that's going to be different for everybody. For me, it's going outside. It's going for like a gentle walk, not necessarily an exercise walk. It's journaling, it's doing deep breathing and yoga. Some other people, so I'm an introvert, if you couldn't tell from all those. So maybe for a more extroverted person, it's going out with their friends or doing more social things. But figuring out what actually recharges you and making time for that. And it can get hard when you have so many things going on, but making sure that you are refueling yourself so that you do have the energy and effort to make these small changes to your nutrition and exercise and movement.
Great. My notes say that you have an offer for the listeners.
I do. So I offer on-demand personal training. And what this means is that I have an app I use that has these little exercise videos of me. So I can slide these around and make custom exercise programs. So for example, I had someone who had a hip fracture. So I was able to make custom exercise programs all in sitting and then slowly progress as she was able to do more. And then I also check in with my clients weekly there. And we do habit tracking and habit coaching. So for your listeners, if they use the code GiantBuilders20, they'll be able to save 20% off for 3 months. And I do this for 3 months because it takes time to make change. Just as we were sort of talking about earlier, you might start something, but you're going to have some struggles. So you really need to stick with it and stay consistent and have that support you need to actually make the changes that you want to continue. So you'll be able to head to my website and go to the personal training tab to get started with that.
Okay, we'll have those links in that code below for you listeners to make sure you have that. Well, Michele, any closing thoughts?
No, yeah, I just encourage people to start. A lot of people just get stuck on even where to start. So pick one thing and make sure that it's easy enough that you're going to do it and just track that. So maybe you have an alarm on your phone, some type of habit tracker, and just get started making these changes you need to. And if you need support or encouragement, get a coach, get a friend, a family member, somebody to have that accountability and support with can really help.
Or get a whole tribe.
Yes, yes.
Well, thank you, Michelle. That was great information and very encouraging. And especially women, you need to take care of yourself so you can take care of your family. And that's important. And we just wish you all the best in getting things better and to be a good reflection for your family. So thank you, Michelle. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me here. I hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you for listening. This has been The Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.